Good afternoon from Yummy B TV. Wishing you all well today. Sending loads of love as usual. Now I'm going to come with about 6, 7, 8 in one about the kind of scenarios that how what institutions bring to the table, if you get what I mean, and different places in those institutions where it can go off at any time. Also, the psychological warfares and intimidation with stare downs and little words here and there and exchanges can shit the life out of certain people. And certain men know how to drop in the one liners without landing a blow to shut you down, when you think you're being clever as well. So we've got that as well. And also the violence that can come at any time, any place in there, especially from a lot of those men that I met along the way. The one thing that I always understand now is I seem to have a good eye for who was on this stuff. Do you get me? So we're going to take it all the way back. We was on the Isle of Wight during this time. It was a mad time for me. In that jail at that time was Herman Howell H. He's enough of my stories as well. Remember, I got the stabs in Swellside when they come for him, and he picks up a little stab. I got in the way and I had to pick up instead, where I was dancing everywhere. Felix Martin as well, first set eyes on him allegedly in Wandsworth. And that old friend and foe thing where you got beef or arguments with someone outside, and then they come into the jail, but before that they can make a move, you say, hold on, let's talk this thing through, kind of thing. And you put your hand around him, throat cut, bang, dead, out the game. Not literally, if you get what I mean, but I think he got a sentence on top for that Oi bus case, which is allegedly, if you get what I mean. But I already knew that you was a different cat of the fish as well, but also I loved you too, because I knew that you stood tall for me on a couple of occasions in the case. Felix went on to be a great writer, very intelligent man, but very, very serious as well. And of course, Paul Flynn, who was doing life at that time, but everybody feared Paul. When he used to get angry, you want to run for cover. There was a time in the five-a-side gym where there's a big Jamaican man, right? But me and him fell out on the food boat. He didn't really want me on there, but my brother-in-law was on there. And one day we went in for a tackle, but I was setting up this fight for ages, but I threw a big right hand, but I never done nothing, right? And he started running towards me like this, and he looked a real fearsome sight, but I was backpedaling, and Paul Flynn coming, hold on a minute, hold on, and it all got stopped. But at the end, they said, yeah, you make me laugh, you saw his face, and he was backpedaling, and Paul Flynn went like that. He said, nah. He goes, wouldn't you? Look at the state of him, wouldn't you run from him? Kind of thing. He made me laugh, Paul, right? So you got all of us in the healthcare. There's a man in there. Nobody knows him. He went on to be a big name in the future, right? But you're arguing with the healthcare staff, going, don't you know why? But nobody doesn't know you. So H is tutting and looking at him like that, the stare down. Felix's eye is twitching with the glasses on, and I'm thinking, oh no, not you lot. Today I'm doing this thinking, but I really want to laugh because I know what's coming. Paul Flintstone sits up on his chair and starts staring him out too. So he looks at completely like his bottom's going to drop out, right? So he sits down on the chair, all quiet and everything, because they're all waiting for him to make eye contact. Because if you make eye contact, they'll go, what are you looking at? You know that you have to look away, or you have to play smart, survival skills, the art of war, and leave it for another day. So sometimes I see use that method as well when people are looking at you, staring across the landing, but you're thinking, I know you're ready today. I won't be going down that road today, if you get what I mean. I'll wait till tomorrow when I'm ready, if you get what I mean. So those are the kind of things that you face when you go to prison, because them man there that was around them times. And let me tell you something now. I realise now, having done the last lap with the kids and all the years all from going way back in the day, the smokers back in the day were a different kettle of fish. I mean, during that time, Gary Staggs, Dave Rawson, they were quick off the button with their thing. If you ask them for money that you owe them, they're like, who are you talking to? They're quick. You're going to come unstuck. People were feared to ask for their money. I was like that as well, because I learned off the best, you know what I mean? But these days, sadly, the smokers are more vulnerable, weak. They haven't got that same kind of mentality of that kamikaze pilot thing. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Dave Rawson is a living legend in there. Trust me, you lot, many asking about him. I went to school with him. I was in St. Thomas More's, West Grinstead, share a room with him sometimes. Chelsea support. I was a Leeds supporter. We used to jump up and down the bed when the match days used to come as kids. I did love Dave as well, man. Proper hardcore. Never taken a backward step. Many will tell you about him. We don't talk about him. I ain't got that kind of permission, but he was my boy as well. And you know that Gary Staggs, I put him as one of the greatest of all time. You couldn't go there. His things would be out really, really quickly. No one could tell me any different, and many men will be able to tell you that. So then on top of that, right? So think about it. Years later now, you know, you talk about the dynamics. So we're in the Cat A's. I told you the other day, I tried to tell you on a live, the kind of exchanges psychologically. Imagine you got me opposite, you got Slaney there, and you got the one that's in for rape, allegedly Silburn, right? That I done murdered in Aylesbury when he was an armed robber. So he used to try and talk to me, yammy, yammy. You know, I used to think, oh, don't call me, man. The whole yard, they're always rushing you everywhere you go. Please don't try and lean that one on me from east and north and west, like that means anything in later life. You see what I mean? But I didn't have the bottle to tell him, if you get what I mean, because there's a lot of ties there. So imagine one morning, Slaney wakes up, Silver wakes up, right? They come out the door. They don't know because Slaney must have just got there the night before. So when the door's gone click, or they've opened the door, he's come out and he's looked at him, Slaney. This is him. I know you, don't I? This is Silver. Yeah, what's your name again? Because Silver's big, dark, you know, he looks the part and everything, but he's just showing he's had beef with Slaney in the past, come unstuck. But this is years later now, and Slaney just trying to feel him out to see if it's him. And he's gone to Slaney's going, yeah, my name's Slaney. This is him. Yeah, I know you. This is Slaney. Yeah, what's your name? This is him, Silver. This is Slaney. Nah, I don't know you. And he just placated. You see what I mean? Left him like in the lurch because he was trying to make a stand against Slaney. But nah, 1-0 to Warren, you know what I mean? But I was secretly laughing as well. These are the kind of exchanges that happen without violence. Because you know, and I know that Warren would have knocked his head off. But at that time, he's not really watching that with you. He don't even want to get in no talk with you like that. That's how he is. But later on, years go by, again, the body language and the people you meet, and there's many men that you ask me about, many men that I can't talk about, but we'll just say the dread, right? We'll say the dread, the greatest dread of all as far as Uncle Yammy's concerned. Imagine you're in reception, right? And we're all sitting in chairs waiting to go back to the wing from court. So we're all lined up here, right? And he's sitting down, calm, cool. I've never seen a geezer like this. Trust me, Uncle Yummy puts that one there at the top of the tree nearly. Trust me, he's just so bright, intelligent, but serious, athletic, genetically gifted as well, muscle-wise, with all the skills, artillery, kung fu and everything, right? So we're sitting down there. A geezer comes in, a young geezer. There's an old man on the chair, sitting down, all quiet, grey beard, grey thing. You know that he's harmless, right? I'm sitting in between. So he comes in, the youngster comes in, yeah, move up, pushes him aside like he's nothing. You know what I mean? Putting your hand on the old man like that. Morally, the dread ain't gonna have that in his mind. He said, yeah, you're picking on them old man like that. He's not his bully or nothing like that, you know, the dread. He's not made like that. If he sees a liberty taken where a man can't defend himself, their man there will want to get involved, the moral high ground. You know, many men have got that attribute in there. They won't let liberties like that happening right in front of them. So I'm like thinking, oh God, I can feel the dread's tension straight up off the thing. Said, yo, youngster, bang, knocked him down, clean out. I said, listen, mind how you talk to the old folk. Bang, argument done. But these are the things that happen in those environments and certain areas in those jails, right? But you know, I put the dread at the top of the tree one of those times in Mafia, Ox, Lubin, all of Tottenham, all of them lot was all in the thing with me. Someone said something. I said, no, don't worry about it. Because was he talking to you, Abby? I'm grim from young, so you know he's gonna have a lot of love for me. No, leave it. But again, all of them man there along the years at full pell. You know, sadly, a lot of rest in peace now as well. I feel so gutted for certain man. Seriously, man, this is what that life brought. But when I tell you about soldiers, I'm telling you about serious soldiers, man. And serious, you know, it's got to be said, one of those times there, Arthur Penny, Dwayne Daniels, Gary Staggs, because they've read about a case of mine. Well, sadly, Uncle Yummy was a cold, callous, Mickey-taking bastard, you know, as well, cocky robber as well, where they read my statements. And apparently, allegedly, Uncle Yummy sadly said when he walked in, pulled back his coat, showing the gun, said, have any of you ever been robbed before? And like some real dark, warped sense of humour, laughing, ha, well, you have now. You know what I mean? Robbed. That got me such a big bird, those lines, acting a psychopath. Do you see what I mean? Those lines I was telling. I remember the judge looked at me and said to me, really, Samson, you should know much better than this kind of thing. And I just had my head down in the Bailey. Do you see what I mean? But that's the kind of behaviour all of them recognise. And they used to walk past me and go, yeah, have you ever been robbed before? But they were all on stuff, trust me. But yeah, that's a little sneak preview. But those kind of, those psychological battles that happen in there, I'm going to be giving you more of those and those exchanges and who comes out better, when you lose face. Because many men get things said to them, like when someone's leaving the yard, they say, yeah, but what were you saying? But you don't say nothing at the time, but everyone's listening, and they think, you bottled that one. It's a big thing in there. And if you don't retaliate, when you get back to your cell, you're going to be lying there going, oh, I wish I would have said something. What's he thinking about? Do they think I'm a mug and all that? Many, that's happened to along the years. Some come charging out the next day. Some have to live with what it is. And what makes me laugh is that they could say it back to certain people, but then when certain people say it to you, you can't say it back. What does it all mean? A lot of those men I mentioned, they would have taken on anybody that was everybody and anybody in that life. That's why I tell you, some of them are the great warlords, because they, whether lose, win or draw, 10 against 1 or whatever, they turn up. You see what I mean? So Uncle Yami, that's why when I say warlords, they don't fear. They might be scared. They might know that they're going to die that day, but they turn up. You know what I mean? But there's certain men that are shrinking violence with certain men. Do you see what I mean? Always remember that I told you that. Be up later on, man, on the move again in a minute. Sending lots of love.